Hello and welcome. Today's topic is about configuring NIC teaming in RHEL7. So the steps which I'm going to show you in this video also can be used in CentOS 7 system. Okay, so the first thing is, you're probably wondering, and also I had the doubt initially, what is NIC teaming and why it is called NIC teaming in RHEL7, because in the earlier distribution which we were using earlier, RHEL6 or RHEL5, we used to call them as bonding, but now in RHEL7 Red Hat is saying this is something called NIC teaming. So you don't have to worry, it is the same thing, only the name which they have said in RHEL7 as NIC teaming. And also, if you are thinking whether we have bonding in RHEL7 or not, so you don't have to worry, because we have still bonding in RHEL7. It is just an alternative for bonding. If you would like to use bond, then you would be able to use bond, and if you would like to use teaming, then you would be able to use teaming as well. So the only purpose which I feel right now is because in future, in coming release which will be going to be provided by RHEL, Red Hat, in Red Hat Enterprise Linux 8, probably they are not going to use bonding, and that will going to deprecate. So that is why we have to get used to NIC teaming, and we need to understand what is that nmcli command and how they work. So in this video I'm going to show you nmcli command, and with that how can we create a network bonding file, and there are some other command with regards to nmcli. We'll be able to manage your interface. So I'm going to show you all that in this video. And also, if you are currently using bonding in your system in RHEL7, you can also be able to convert. There is already a command, bonding to convert command is there, so you can be able to convert from bonding to team. So I would also show you, those are the basic command how we can able to convert from bonding to teaming. Okay, so in RHEL6 or previous version we had something called mod, and in that we had something mod 0, 1, 2 and so on. So the first one, mod 0, we used to call as round robin, and mod 1 we used to call as active backup. So similarly we have something here which is called runner. So in runner there are few options. So those are the runner which we can use. The first thing is about broadcast, second thing round robin, active backup, load balancing and LSCP. So those are the runners available with teaming, so you can be able to use those are the runners. So I would prefer to configure round robin, because it is providing both load balancing and fault tolerance. So that is why I'm going to configure round robin runner in this video. So the first thing what I'm going to show you is about the bonding, because many people say it is deprecated and it is no more used in RHEL7, but it is not. You would still be able to use bonding in RHEL7. So first thing what I would show is the module. So if I do a mod info bonding, and if I run this command, I can able to see the module is still available and you can be able to use it. So this is the module. And the next thing is, if I run nmcli, and here if I just go inside edit a connection and add a new connection, here you would be able to see the option bond, and also now they have introduced teaming, right? So we have bonding still there with RHEL7, right? So let me just cancel this and go back to my terminal here. Okay, so I showed you that bonding is still there, you can be able to create, but I would recommend to use teaming. Why? Because you can be able to do many things with command line. So earlier what we used to do is something called the location is network sysconfig /etc sysconfig network script. In here we wish to create manually file like bond 0 and specify the content under that. So now with nm, which is network manager, with network manager utility, we would be able to do everything with command line. So nmcli is the command. Let me just clear the screen and run nmcli command. So if I run this command, you would be able to see currently which is the devices available in your system connected and which are the interface which is not connected. So you can able to see this two interface which is currently used for team 0, and they are green and they are both up. And apart from that, you also have three interface which is 61, 192 and 193. So those three interface which is attached with this system, but I haven't used yet. So I'm going to use probably 1 or probably 192 and 193 for team 1. So currently I have already configured team 0, and I'm going to create a new team which is going to be team 1. And for them there is not much step, so there are few commands which I need to run, and I would be good to configuring them. So those are the steps, but apart from that we need to understand the other command through which you can manage your network interface. So that is why I would like to show you those commands here first. So nmcli is the command which I just run here, and you can able to see the network interface information. And the next command is nmcli. Here you can able to see nmcli device show or nmcli connection show. Let me just clear the screen and run this command, nmcli connection show. If I run this command, I will be able to see my device interface, my device information. So first thing is the name which I'm using currently, those are the name, and there is an UID created when we create a new interface by network manager, and the type is team here, the bridge information, name is bridge here. So this is the type which I'm using, so I'm using currently team. If you are using bond, it would have short bond here, and the device name which I'm using is here team 0 and other interface device. So those information you can able to see. And there is other command calls here, nmcli device status. So if I run this command, I can able to see a brief information, like I have run that command nmcli, and I could see that the connection information, right? So here you can also able to see the same information, okay, in short description. So here you can see there are three interface which is disconnected and others are connected. And also nmcli connection, let me just do a tab here to see what are the options we have it. So I already ran. Now probably I would like to see device, nmcli device show. So if I run this command, all the device in your system and their information you would be able to see. So these are the device currently I have in my system, and you would be able to see those information. And if you wanted to filter it for particularly for my team 0, I would be able to see like this, and you would be able to see hardware address and other information. So this is a nice information, and again this is all coming from the network manager, so you can able to see some information here. And also you can be able to see the information running systemctl status network manager. If I run this command, you can able to see this is the CG group running round robin, and there are active connection regarding your team 0, regarding my team 0 it is showing here. So those are the information, and I remove sometimes back, so that is why it says it is detected. And if you wanted to see full list information, I need to use -L. So there are some information you can also be able to see running your network manager status. Right, so those are the two devices to this is the first device, and the second device is not showing here. I'm not sure here why it is not showing. Probably, let me see. There is one more command which is teamdctl, and I wanted to see the information about my team 0 and what are the slave interface running in team 0. So that information we can able to see running teamdctl command. And if I just do state, and I think I will be able to see here, and here now I can able to see an information something similar to proc net bonding. Currently this file is not there. It is basically used in RHEL6 and previous distribution. So here, so that command, instead of this command which we used to use in earlier version, you can just run command called teamdctl team0 state, and you would be able to see the information here. So currently both links are up, and it is saying both the interface information. So I should not be worried about team 0. So those are the most important command to configure your team or to check your status about your team. So now the next step what I would like to show you is to configuring a new team. So for that there is nothing much, we need to run some command to create them. So let me just copy the first line here. Okay, and let me just go through what are those lines. The first thing is nmcli, which is network manager CLI command utility I'm using. I'm creating a new connection, that is why I need to say connection here, and this is the format which you have to follow, otherwise your device will not create. And I'm adding it, and there is a format which is con minus name. This is nothing but a connection name, and instead of team name, instead of team 0, I need to use as team 1 here, and type which I'm using, whether I'm using team or bond. So that's why I showed you that we have bond also. If you are using bond, then you would be able to say type is equal to bond. And now since I'm using team, so I'm specifying team here, and my interface, which is interface name, is team1, and the configuration. So configuration is nothing but the bonding ops. So if you are familiar with the bonding in RHEL6 or a previous version, then you would something have called bonding ops. Those bonding option, now it is called as runner. So we are configuring a runner here, and it should be in this format. It should be in double quote and open with a curly bracket here, and you have to specify what is the runner you are going to use. So I'm going to use a runner which is very much popular and useful, round robin. So this is the command which I need to run. So let me just run this to create it. Okay, so my team 1 is now created, and if I just go here inside this location, sysconfig network script, and I can able to see there is a file created with team 1. So these are the contents. So you would also be able to do manually, but it is advisable to use the command line. Right, so the next step what I have to do is I have to create my slave interface. So let me just copy the slave interface and paste it here. So I'm going to use team 1 here, same thing, nmcli connection, adding a connection name which is team 1, and instead of port 1, what I'm going to say, probably I would say slave 1, and type is team slave because it is slave for my master, which is team 1, right? So that is why you have to specify the format like this, and my Ethernet information here. So my slave which I'm going to use nmcli, I'm going to use these two interface 192 193. So I will say I have name ENS 192 and my master for 192 slave is team1. So this is what we have to do, and that is done. And now next thing is same, I just need to change the name. You can specify any name here, and my interface is 193 and master is team1. Done. So I have created two more files. So if I just again do an ls, you can able to see team1 team1 slave 1 slave 2. So I have created those two files. So next thing is, as you probably aware that we do not specify the IP in slave, instead we specify the IP in team1. So I'm going to specify an IP in team1 and I'm going to go through the options. Okay, so what are the options? Let me just copy first. And paste it here. So nmcli connection, instead of adding it, I'm doing a modify because it is already there. Team0 is already available like I showed you. Now I'm modifying team0, and now the IP format which I'm going to use, whether I'm using IPv4 or IPv6. So if you are using IPv6, then you have to specify IPv6 here. And the IP, so IP is probably, I would say, 41. And the IPv method, so IPv method is nothing but your type of network you are using. So currently I'm going to use the static IP, that is why I have specified the static IP here. And if you are using a static IP, then you have to say manual. And if you are using a DHCP, going to get the IP from DHCP, then you would not need to specify the IP. And in IPv4 version method, instead of manual, you would have say DHCP, right? So I'm going to say manual here. And connection auto connect is nothing but when my system is reboot, my interface, which is team1, should come up. So I just need to modify here as team1 and go to end of the line. So auto connect equal to yes. So you're probably wondering how will I going to memorize or going to do this, because it looks like a big command, right? So I will tell you a trick so you don't have to worry or you don't have to remember. So let me just create this first, then I will tell you. So my IP information is updated in team1. So now next what I have to do is I have to make those connection up. So like you see here, nmcli connection up, and I have to bring those interface up. So let me do that. nmcli connection up, team1 is the first interface, team1 slave 1 is my slave first interface, and this is my second interface, right? So now this command or any command, if you are not familiar or if you cannot memorize, then trick is what you have to do is just run nmcli connection, and if you do a connection and do a tab, you would be able to see the list of options which you can use. So now I did modify, right? So modify, when I did a modify, then I have to specify my connection name. So once I specify the connection name and do a tab, then I would also have to specify space here and do a tab. So here you'd be able to see again the IPv version 4 information. Here I'm using IPv version 4. Let me see where it is. IPv IPv version 4 address. Okay, so nmcli connection modify team 0, then tab. So here I can see IPv version 4 address, and you would be able to use it, or if you wanted to use IPv version 6, then here it is IPv version 6. And now I have to specify like this, and once I did that, now next option is you have to specify the IP, right, then the method. So example, I'm going to specify an IP something called 192.168.43.142 and subnet is 24. And now next, what is the option? So just do a tab again, and now you'd be able to see the connection information here, connection auto connect, which I'm using. So those are the tricks which you can use to create your interface. So you don't have to really memorize all this command, even though those are big. So now I have created the interface which is team1, and I would like to see whether it is working or not. First, what I'm going to run my command nmcli, and now if I just scroll it up a little bit, so I can able to see team1 is up, and the slave interface for team1 is this one, 192 and 193. So both are up. So like this you can able to see, and also you would be able to see, like I showed you earlier in this video, teamdctl, then team1 state. So okay, team1 view, I believe. Okay, teamdctl. Oh, sorry, I was running teamdctl. Okay, so teamdctl, team 0, team 1 state, and now I can able to see my interface, which is round robin, and these are the two interface which is running. And also if I run systemctl status network manager, from here I will also be able to see some of the option which is giving for team 1. So I'm using a 2 bonding device, which is team 0 and team 1. So those are the basic and most important command to configure your team in RHEL7 or CentOS 7. Right, so I believe that's it. If you would like to go, and if you would like to see more options, there are many more options with nmcli command you would be able to see, and you just basically need to run nmcli and do a tab and go with all those options, what those options does. For example, let me just show you something in networking and just do a tab, and I wanted to see the connectivity for probably team 0. Okay, so here it is not like that. Let me just run check, and then probably I have to specify team 0, and it says it full. So that means it is connected and up, and you can make it down and up. So let me just show you one demo for that one. Let me just do teamdctl team 0. Probably for team 1 I am going to do is do the test team 1, then do one state, and now I just wanted to bring down this interface, teamdctl connection. It is not teamdctl, it is nmcli connection down, then specify the interface. Oh, sorry, it's not active connection. Okay, so probably I will try for ns 92. Both are down, it seems. Let me just check. Okay, so both are up, but while trying to make it down, I'm getting an error. State both are saying up. nmcli connection down is the command. Okay, I got it. So the problem is there is a little different way I need to do. teamdctl team0 state. So I cannot bring them down like this. Instead of, what I have to do is nmcli and team1, it is running like this. This is my name for my ENS 192. So I need to bring them down like this. nmcli connection down. Right, so it should work, but it is taking a little time to bring that interface down, and it is giving a timeout and for 10 seconds. And it is down. So now I cannot see that 192 interface showing here. So it is working. So instead of your real interface name, you have to give the alias name which you have given, and you will be able to test it. And let me just bring it up, and now if I just run stat, and now I can able to see the both interface information. So that looks nice and easy with the command I showed you, teamdctl nmcli, another command. So you can try and let me know if you have any issues with network manager and teaming in RHEL7. So that's it for this video. If you like this video and if you feel this content is useful for you, please subscribe my channel and also please hit like. I will see you in next time. Have a good day.